Welcome to Future Prospects, guys. This show is going to talk about issues of different things on mental health. My guest, Hibba Nasir, is not unfamiliar to Future Prospects. She's graced this show with her story, but only in one segment. But now she's here to give you the story of her life, her adversities, her challenges, and how she overcame them, and how she's still dealing with certain things within her life. And it's my pleasure and honor to have her on, and I'm so excited because she's here and she's right here. So, welcome, Hibba.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart.
I'm so happy to be back.
Oh, I'm so glad
happy.
you're here. I'm so glad you're here. You are a young lady who just, when you get your teeth on something, like you don't hold back, do you? You just go in there, you go, I gotta get this done, you're just so tenacious, like you're just.
Well, like I was telling you before when we were
Huh?
talking,
Right.
if you want to do something, if you want to get somewhere, just keep at it. Maybe once it doesn't work out, or maybe twice it doesn't work out, but if it's meant to be, it's gonna happen. You just gotta keep at it.
You got it. That's why I love you so much, and I can say that. I can honestly say that. All right, so you were on the show before.
Yes.
You gave us a little bit, like I was telling the viewers in segment. I'm going to shut this and just throw some questions over to you. Educate the viewers who Hibba is, and then we can get into your great story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am someone who went through a lot of struggles, especially in my childhood. None of them involved from my house. Like my household was very happy. We were like new to Canada. We had.
Where were you born? What did you do when you say new to Canada? Where were you?
Well, I'm from Pakistan.
Okay.
And I moved to Canada when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
I think like a couple months after my birthday.
All right.
And then my dad stayed back because he had a good job, so he was kind of like supporting us from back home.
Okay. What did your dad do?
He was a judge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great job. Very good job.
Right.
So we came here. It was me, my mom, and my sister, and my grandpa already lived here.
Okay.
So then we all got an apartment together. Cute little happy family. My dad would visit every now and then. So we were very good.
How was that having your dad on the other side of the world and you here? How was that like?
It was hard. It was very tough.
Yes.
The first time he visited was, I believe, like 4.5 years after.
Wow.
So we hadn't seen him in so long. My mom always jokes about this, is my sister forgot, or did not forgot, but she was really little when he came here. So when my dad was coming, she didn't realize that my dad was our dad. So she's like, oh, is he bringing his kids? Like, am I going to have someone to play with?
Because there's no relationship, really.
Because he hadn't been here for so long.
Right.
Or he hadn't seen her in literally 4.5 years.
Right.
But he got here, and then every now and then he would come back more often. And then eventually he just came for good, which was exciting.
Yes,
exciting stuff, because it's hard living with, like, apart from your parents, especially for, like, my parents themselves. Like, they love each other, they want to be together.
Sure.
But they're literally like in completely different continents.
That's right, exactly.
So it was tough, but we got through it.
You got through it.
Like as a family.
Okay. Right.
But my tough struggles actually came from my school and my peers and my friends.
What grade?
Started, I think, like the first instance of bullying was in grade 2.
Okay.
Like when we came here.
Okay.
But then it kind of got worse in grade 3 and 4, and over the years it kind of just like got worse and worse and worse. It started with just like physical or just verbal abuse,
right.
Like just like horrible name calling, racist comments, hate comments. But
was it, now I'm going to dig deep, because sometimes you can always say bullying, but let's try to define a little bit of what, because bullying has got different handles.
It's got,
all right.
Sure.
So now when you say bullying, when you say verbal, was they were teasing your accent? Were they teasing you?
So everything about me, my clothes, my culture, my religion, my race, my accent. I had a little bit of a lisp. I still do.
Okay.
But that was something. I remember I was wearing a very cute outfit that I thought was super cute. I was like, oh my God, I look adorable. Me and my sister were matching. This was grade 4, I think, or grade 3. And you could see like the line of my underwear underneath. But I'm in grade 3. I don't really, it's not something you even think about.
That's right.
But it was the smallest thing. I was still pretty new, and everybody was just like laughing. As soon as I walked into the classroom, every person in there started laughing at me, pointing fingers. And somehow it would just escalate to something completely unrelated to what it actually started with.
Okay.
Started with that, and then led to horrible racist comments. Me smelling like curry was popular. I didn't realize then that like now I don't really care about stuff like that. It
Why?
doesn't really affect me.
Why don't you care about it anymore?
Because like it's meaningless.
Right.
It's not. It doesn't mean anything in my life. It doesn't do me any good. It doesn't like that person isn't supporting me in any positive way.
You got it.
So why am I supposed like why should I listen to what they have to say anyway?
That's right. If they ever taste curry or some real tandoori, they'd realize they're missing out on some serious food.
Listen,
so, there you
I'm
go.
good smelling like curry. It smells good. It tastes amazing.
Oh, I love it. When I'm cooking, to give you a story, when I'm cooking in the house, I cook seasoned curry, any Jamaican food, even with and it's in my clothes. And I'll go to meetings, I know it's there. It's who you are. It doesn't really matter. But I just had to say it because I love to eat. So there you go. There you go.
So yeah, on the same note, there's an example of a difference. So back then, if I had like the faintest smell of food in my clothes, I would get made fun of, like just straight out. Couple years ago, I got into my friend's car when they picked me up, and the first reaction was, "What's that smell?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Were you cooking?" And I was like, "Yeah, we were cooking food." And my friend's like, "That smells incredible. I am so hungry."
There you go.
And I was prepared for the worst because that's what I always like saw and that's what the experience.
Right.
But it was just like so refreshing. We were like, okay, let's go grab food. If you're that hungry, let's go get some food.
Oh, gosh.
Like it's a change of perspective.
Yes,
and when you grow
honey.
up, you realize like all of that stuff doesn't really matter.
That's right.
But when you're a kid, it affects you.
That's right.
And that verbal abuse or verbal bullying kind of led up to physical bullying, like physical abuse, that I learned how to hide really early on. It became easy at one point to hide it because so I would go to school and it started with little things called the Indian burn, which is like you rub the skin on someone's arm,
right,
and it causes a burn.
Right.
So you do it the opposite way and it hurts.
So it's twists.
Yeah, the skin, not even the arm, just the skin.
Wow.
So that burns, but that was just the beginning of it. It went on to hitting, it went on to punching, it went on to cutting on my skin from other kids, not me, which was...
Cutting? The children would cut you?
Yeah, so right here, because I was in their eyes too ugly and too fat, so they had to change who I was.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's craziness.
Yeah, if you took me back to my old school, where my elementary school, I could show you exactly where all of that stuff happened.
Holy shoot, Hibba.
Yeah, because it was they had a way where everybody knew that this part doesn't have any cameras around. Not a lot of teachers see that part.
Right.
Nobody's around there often because it's kind of part of the playground, but far or hidden enough that nobody really notices it.
How old were you at this point?
Grade 5-ish.
5?
And
so give me an age because I'm still British. I'm still learning all the grade 1s and grade 2s.
Okay, so
right.
7 in grade 2, 8, 9, so 10.
10,
11, or 9, 10, 11.
10 years old.
That's when it kind of started.
A child could reach over and cut you and do that in school.
And it wasn't it was always the younger kids and the older kids teaming up.
Right. Well, of course, they can't do it alone.
They can't do it alone. They need the older kids' help because that, it's a thing of authority. They have an easier, way of getting around the teachers and stuff,
right.
Kind of charming the teachers, oh no, we're not doing anything, nothing's happening, stuff like that, very, very often.
Okay, I don't want to take away from what you're saying because because you gave us a lot of great pictures and quotes.
Yeah.
So I want to embrace all the work that you've put in. So,
sounds good.
Right. So we're going to come back to that because we still got more time for the show. But I want to bring up the picture, okay, that you sent us. Okay. So where were you speaking here?
So this is my picture from my latest, speech, you want to call it. It's on a platform called Future Prospect, or that's this one.
That's okay, sweetheart. That's okay.
Fearless Voices.
Okay.
And I went on their last one of the year of 2019.
Okay.
And I shared a part of my story. And it was interesting. It was a completely different crowd than I'm used to. But it was incredible. There was a lot of different speakers lined up, sharing their stories or sharing parts of their stories. And you got to see all of these people who have persevered throughout their lives as well and come to the point where they would like to tell the world that, hey, it's gonna get better.
So it's a mission of yours right now to become a speaker?
Yes, I want to become. I work with a company right now, Youth Speak,
Right.
but I want to become independent in the future. I want to be my own speaker. I want to speak at like bigger things, bigger conferences, symposiums, spread the message that I'm trying to spread to as many people as I possibly can. And that's what I want to do.
When you tell your stories, now, was it hard for you to talk about what you just did about the bullying and the stuff that you dealt with?
It was at the beginning.
Right, hon.
Because I'd never talked about it before.
Right.
I'd never even spoken to most of my friends about it. Maybe once or twice, but not much. And then when I started to talk to like a couple of people around me and then talk up on stage, it got easier as it went on because it's a vulnerable topic.
Yes.
This plus everything else.
That's right.
It's a very vulnerable topic, so it's not the easiest thing to talk about. But now I don't focus on, hey, it's a scary thing to talk about.
Right.
I focus more on, this needs to be out there.
That's
People
right.
need to hear it.
That's right.
Because they might be going through the exact same thing.
That's right.
Or very similar things, and they need to know that they're not alone.
Well, I've heard of bullying, Hibba. I've heard of bullying.
Yeah.
But I've heard of it in different ways. But there's another way that children or people can intimidate young people like that because of your race. Or not saying even just that, I gotta really watch how I'm talking here for a second. But they can pick upon that to just, pick on you.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, I don't enjoy what they did, but also we don't know what's going on in their lives either.
Right.
They could have been bullied at home or abused at home. Like, God forbid that happens, but
Right.
you never know what's going on, and their way of kind of taking it out on people was taking it out on me.
Okay.
It wasn't great. It was not a good outlet, but sometimes thinking about it like that helps you get over it,
Gotcha,
get past
hon.
it, because we don't know other people's lives. They could be
Okay.
going through something horrendous as well.
Exactly, sweetie. There's a quote that you gave us, and I don't know if we have enough time to show right now, but I'm just going to put it up on the screen. Okay? Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. Why did you choose those words?
Because you don't lose. Even if you make a mistake or even if you fail, something comes out of it. You learn something, you learn, hey, maybe I'll do this differently next time. Or maybe you, for example, maybe you failed a test. It's a
Right.
very simple example, everybody's done it before. But then you learn, hey, next time I'll study more. Or hey, this is what I messed up.
That's right,
Even
yeah.
the smallest things, you never lose much. Maybe you lost in that moment, but you can go back.
You
You
got
can
it,
get
hon.
better, you learn something, and you just keep going.
You got it. On that note, we got to go to break.
Sounds good.
You're incredible. That's all I can say. You're incredible.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be right back, guys. Welcome back to Future Prospects with Hibba and Nasir. I'm going to go right over to you, hon.
Okay.
Right over to you. I don't want to miss a minute because you put together some great pictures, some great quotes, right? But now we're going to take off more on your story now. So you left where you were dealing with bullying and go from there.
Yeah, so I was dealing with that.
Yes.
I didn't tell anybody. I didn't want to be the tattletale at school
Okay.
because I thought that would make me be another target.
But I'm gonna jump in there for a second. When someone's hurting you, why can't you tell somebody? You're gonna keep on getting tortured all the time?
It seems very simple now. It
Yes.
seems like the simplest answer is like, why didn't you just tell
Yeah,
anybody?
I had to ask that because parents are
Yeah.
watching the show and people are watching.
When you're little, kids know a lot. They know more than we give them credit for, so they know what's going on at home, they know what's going on at school. So at school, I was like, hey, if I tell on this person or if I tell on these people, they're gonna find out who told on them, and I'm gonna become a bigger target.
Okay.
And that was scarier for me because what can be worse than this?
Right.
Right? And then at home, everybody was always stressed out. We were very happy, but at the same time, my dad was back home.
Right.
My mom was here trying to figure some stuff out. She was
Right.
trying to learn English. My grandpa was trying to keep everything together. Everything was a little bit more stressful than you would hope for.
Right.
So I didn't want to add more stress because I knew as soon as I told my mom something was going on, she would stop everything and come at my rescue because that's who my mom is.
Right.
But I didn't want to make her have to do that because there's a lot of other things that had to get dealt with. And I thought I could deal with it by myself.
But you carried it for how long?
For a little while, a couple years.
That's a little while, a couple of years? That's a long time.
It's a long time, but
Yes.
I ended up telling my grandpa.
Okay.
Only because I was at school and this kid came up to me and he said something to me and it made me feel horrendous. It made me feel incredibly horrible about myself, the way I looked, who I was, my race, my religion, everything.
Back up for a second. Why your grandfather, not your mummy?
Because my grandpa caught me.
He caught
He
you doing
caught me
what?
crying. I was in my
Okay.
room. I ran away from the school. I
Right.
went home. I just
Okay.
ran at lunchtime and I didn't come back. I went home and I was crying so hard. He wasn't home yet, but he walked in and you hear someone sobbing, so you go in the room
Right.
and he asked me, and he's like, "Are you okay?" He was so worried, and I, in this breakdown, told him everything. I was like, "Okay, I literally cannot hide it at this time."
And why did you run home? Because I cut in on the last info.
Because the kid who came up to me and said something, he made me feel like I was not even worthy of, like, being around people or worthy of being myself.
Can
at
I
that
ask
point.
you what? Do you remember what he said?
It was very simple. He didn't say anything that now it doesn't seem like it's very bad,
Right.
but it was part of like everything else that he'd said in the past. He came up to me and he's like, "Wow, you're an ugly as F monkey." And I was like,
What?
What? And at first I was like, "Oh, okay, that's whatever." But then I
Right.
thought about it in reference to everything else he'd said and he'd done in the past. And that was his way of telling me that I was the lowest of lows. In his eyes, the animal monkey doesn't really have any sort of significance. They're not a good animal. They should be dead. He doesn't like them.
But that's okay. Don't get me personal here now because I am on television, folks. What age were you at the time? 10?
Yeah, 10.
10, okay.
Or 10 and a half, 11, something
And
like
you
that.
did say before I interrupted asking you why you didn't tell your mom, why didn't you tell your mom, your father, your grandfather asked. You said that it made you feel bad about your religion.
Because he started with that and then it kept going. That was like the start of the thing. Like he started with you're an ugly as F monkey, and then he just kept going. So that was
Okay.
the beginning, and that was the thing that like I kept holding on to because I know the kind of person he is and the stuff that he said and done in the past.
Right.
And this seems like a very minor thing. Like I think back to it, I'm like I would never think twice about it now, but back then it ruined me. I didn't want to be a monkey. I wanted to be a person, a human being.
But you're not a monkey, you're a human being.
Exactly.
Right.
But then, also nothing against monkeys, by the way.
No, of course not,
Love
'cause
monkeys.
you're
They're adorable. But
That's right.
if you know someone has been torturing you for the past couple of years,
Right, hon.
anything that they say
Sure.
is a little bit more escalated. You know this person, how they feel about specific people or specific animals, and you're little, so that to him was a big insult.
That's right.
It meant a lot more than it sounded like.
How did you open up to your grandpop?
I was just crying. I was just telling him what was going on. I was like, "Oh my God, this is happening. This is happening. This is what they did. This is what they said. Blah 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 blah
And
blah."
what did he say?
Well, first he calmed me down, and then he said that no more hiding, no more, keeping secrets, nothing like that. You're telling me what's gonna happen.
That's right.
And I told him I was scared. I told him I don't want to tell anybody. I told him I don't want to tell my mom, and he's like, "I will keep your secret as long as you come to me, as long as I become your confidant, as long as you're not keeping any more secrets."
Good. How did you feel when you told him?
So relieved. I was like, this big rock off my shoulder was lifted. This
Yes.
big boulder was just gone. So he started giving me advice, and he started to help me get back my self-esteem and my confidence.
In what way?
In a way that he taught me a lot of lessons.
Give me one lesson.
So the biggest thing I'm never going to forget is he said that you should never let someone else's opinion of you become your opinion of you.
do it again.
Also, it's like loosely translated, but listen, it works in every aspect.
Yes.
What does anybody else have to say about you? Why does that have so much power to change how you feel about yourself or what you think of you?
But my question to you is, before we show the picture here and the quote, why did it affect you?
Because it's true. Because why do I care what they're thinking and what they're saying?
Right, but why did it bother you at the time when he said it? That's why I'm asking.
Why did it bother me?
Yes.
It didn't bother me.
No, it didn't bother you.
That he said...
The young person that was saying.
What he said. Why did it bother me? It's because it made me feel like what I believed about myself was completely wrong. Because if everybody around you is saying something, if you're a kid, it's going to influence you and change how you think about yourself, right?
Right.
So if they're all saying something, and I'm like, if they all think it, it has to be true. When you're a kid, that's how you think sometimes. That's how I thought. I was like, if he's saying this over and over and over again, if he's making me feel like this over and over and over again, maybe this is how I'm supposed to feel.
Like it brands your mind, right? Brands your thinking, your identity.
It affects you.
Because you gave us these pictures, I just want to give it respect and honor, okay? I know they're very, very dear to you. You've got a picture here of your family.
Yeah.
So guys, can we throw it up? Thank you. Nephew.
Oh.
Who's this, your nephew?
That is my favorite little guy.
What's his name?
His name is Ayan. A-Y-A-A-N. Or A-H-Y-A.
Okay.
But he is my cousin's son. That is one of my favorite cousins that I have.
How old is he?
He is 5 years old now.
Oh, he's 5 years old?
4 years old.
He's not 5 years old. He's 5 years old.
He's so little.
This small?
He's a very small kid.
Okay, all right.
He's a very
I'm only
small,
having fun with you. All right.
He is. He's probably this little.
Oh
but
my God.
I met him for the first time this year.
Yes, honey.
Or 2019. I met him for the first time. And he's everything. I've lost contact with a lot of my cousins that I used to be close with when I was younger.
Right.
Especially when I lived there or we visited more often than now, I guess. And this year I want to, which is actually why I sent you this picture.
Yes.
Is because this year I want to make more of those connections back or get them back.
Yes.
I tried with a couple of my cousins. It didn't go so well. They're not interested. That's fine. I'm going to go to, for example, this cousin.
Right.
She's great. We're hoping she visits this year. If you're watching this, please visit this year. But I want to get back those connections, and because family is everything to me. It's so important.
Why is it everything?
My mom and my dad and my sister, the most important people in my entire life.
Okay.
And then my friends have become like my chosen family. And then all of my cousins and my relatives, the people that I was close to, they were like my siblings. And I want to have that in my life.
I asked you, and you answered by just rolling over when I asked you. Because no, don't apologize. Don't ever apologize for that. No, because you love your family so much. So you just heard it and you went, right? When you're excited about something, just do it. Just say it. Right, hon?
Yeah.
So that's why you gave us the picture.
I did. Because like I said, family's important.
Yes.
This necklace right here.
Yes, honey.
My mom gave it to me a few years ago. I was little, so I was like, ew, pearls. Like, that's an old lady necklace or whatever.
Easy now.
Hey, it's my favorite necklace now,
Okay,
so I take all of it back.
Okay, all right.
But now I wear it almost every single day that I go out. Sometimes
Why?
I forget because I'm forgetful, but I wear it because my mom gave it to me. It's like I know I have my mom anywhere I go, but this is like I have my mom literally on my neck everywhere I go.
That's right.
And like,
sweetheart.
she didn't even give it to me like that. She was just like, hey, this used to be mine. Why don't you take it? And at that time, like I said, ew, pearls are like old people. Like, you're a kid. That's what you think.
That's right.
But
Of course
now
you do.
it's
I did.
like it's a necklace to everybody else, but to me, it's a little bit more.
You got it. It's your mom.
It's my
and
mom.
She's always there.
Yeah.
Okay. Attached to this picture, there's a quote, right?
Yes.
Okay, so can we show it, guys? Can you read it for us, my love?
Don't let your mind bully your body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you share that?
Because sometimes we get very caught up in our minds. Sometimes we get very caught up in what people say, and it affects how we think about ourselves. And then it comes down to negative self-talk.
Right.
Where you do the smallest thing that maybe wasn't correct or done the right way or was wrong, and you just go at it at yourself. And that's horrible. People don't realize that stuff like that is going to affect you in the future.
That's right.
That's how a lot of people have eating disorders. People that I've known have eating disorders, and it all started with negative self-talk. It affects you to the point where you don't even realize it. And I always just want to like go back to being kinder to yourself.
How do you be kind to yourself?
So I'm very like back and forth. I'm a human being. I make mistakes.
Oh, you're a human being, right?
Yes.
So am I.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So
I like to have fun. Hon. You gotta laugh at life.
Of course.
Yes.
Where was I?
Yes.
Yes. I'm a human being.
Okay.
Just like you.
Yes,
Just
hon.
like everybody around here.
Right.
But that means that I make mistakes. That means that I sometimes am mean to myself in my mind.
Right.
Having that negative self-talk. But rolling it back around, stopping it, pausing it, reversing it, and being like, hold up. Let's think of it in a different way. Turning it around and making something positive.
Right.
Like maybe I did do that wrong, or maybe I did mess that up, but next time I won't. Next time I will change it. And also, it is okay to do things wrong. It is okay to do this. It is okay to do that, because like I said, we are all human beings.
Why is it okay to Why is it okay to go through mistakes, like have failures and stuff like that?
How
Why?
are you gonna learn? How are you gonna learn if you don't make a mistake? When you're little and you want to make your parents proud and make your family proud, any little mistake is gonna get to you because you think that, hey, my parents are not gonna be happy with this. They're not gonna be proud.
Okay.
Blah 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 blah. And I've learned from my parents is they didn't think like that. They still don't. They just want me to be happy. They want me to succeed in everything that I do.
You got it, hon.
But when you're little or when you're a kid, you don't think like that. You think any little thing, any mistake I make is not going to make my parents proud. That means it's not going to make me proud.
Okay.
But if you make a mistake, you learn something.
That's right.
You learn how to do it better next time.
Because you got to fail and fail and fail to succeed.
Exactly.
On that note, we got to go to break.
Cool.
Awesome. We'll be right back, guys. Welcome to Future Prospects with Hibba and Nasir. Hibba,
Yes.
we were talking off camera, and we're going to get into your story a little bit more, but we covered on the first one about bullying, then we covered how you opened up to a family member. We covered how it's important to talk. That's why I had you revisit it again, because a lot of people hold it inside and they listen to all those negative voices that they
Yes.
give themselves, right? And keep going with your story. I'm just going to throw some more at you. So you're doing such a great job. I love it what you're doing. All right. So keep talking what you were saying now in regards to.
What I was saying.
Yes, ma'am.
What I was saying in the last part
Yes.
was that when my grandpa said that to me, when he said that you should never let someone else's opinions of you become your opinion of you.
That's right.
It changed my perspective.
Okay.
And maybe not at first. I was a kid. It doesn't happen right away. But then he kept talking to me, he kept at it, he kept helping me. And I started like ignoring the bullies. I started standing up a little bit for myself.
How did you stand up? I think viewers like to know how you stand up.
I started kind of just telling them off. Not in like a mean way.
No, it's
but
okay.
they would come at me and I would be like, but you don't know me. You don't know who I am. Why are you saying this stuff? And as soon as I would do that, they weren't used to me kind of snapping back.
That's right.
They'd be appalled. Be like, oh, whoa, okay.
Good.
And I just walk away.
That's right.
And honestly, one of the scariest things. When I was little, I was so terrified. I was like, wait, they're gonna say something bad, something's gonna happen. Nothing did. And it just started getting a little bit, like the physical abuse stopped. At one point it just stopped.
Good.
Which was great.
Yes.
That was exciting. That was,
Okay.
I was happy. And then my self-esteem went up and I made my first friend in grade 8. This is someone that
Oh.
I had made friends before, but they had all turned on me. And this was someone that, she was my friend. She was genuinely my friend.
Right.
She hadn't been here for too long, so she didn't really know everything else that people were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, she never treated anybody else as if they were less than her.
Okay.
We're still friends to this day. She's my
Beautiful.
oldest friend, love her. And I would have never been able to do that if I didn't have the self-confidence, if I hadn't talked to my grandpa. So when I started like actually getting better or standing up for myself and stuff like that, I realized the thing that he said about that, about other people's opinions, is true, because they have no idea who you are. The only person who knows you fully is you.
That's right.
Even your best friend isn't going to know you 1,000%. They might
right.
know you 90%, 99.99%.
That's
But
right.
they're not going to know you 100%.
That's right. Why is it that young people do that to themselves, though? Why?
Because it's so easy to get caught up in what everybody is saying. Everybody around you, if they're saying things to you, when you're younger, you're very influenced by society, by some like outside, I don't know, opinions that, because you're still trying to figure yourself out,
Right.
because you're trying to figure out who you are, where you belong,
Still working
what
on
you
your
believe in.
identity.
Exactly. So someone says something to you, it sticks. It's kind of like, hey, maybe let me explore that for a second.
Right.
Because you're exploring all of these other options. Why not explore this one thing that everybody's saying? And if people are saying that over and over throughout your life, it is bound to leave a mark.
Okay.
Like it is how it is, and it's because when you're younger, you're, like you said, trying to figure out like your identity, where you belong.
So now how, because you becoming a speaker, how is it, or being a speaker, sorry, not becoming, is a speaker, is how is it that we strengthen that mental mind? How do we strengthen it? That when you look in the mirror, that a young person can talk, can speak back, and stand up for themselves?
There's a lot of ways, but there's very simple things. For example, you wake up in the morning, you go to the washroom, you look in the mirror, say 3 things you love about yourself.
What do you say about yourself, 3 things you love about yourself, pretty girl?
I said this last time too, and I said I like my nose.
Okay, sorry, say that again, sorry.
I like my nose.
And why do you like your nose? I know when you say that, I like my nose. I like
It's
my nose.
because I am from Pakistan, and Pakistani people have very big noses. I have a cute little button nose.
Well, okay, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because we're on camera here, but go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to have some real fun with you here. But.
Their noses are proportionate to their faces.
Okay.
And so it looks great. It looks beautiful. My face is a little small, so if I had a bigger nose, it would be a little bit unproportionate.
Okay.
So I like my cute little button nose.
Okay, that's 1. What's 2?
I like that what we were talking about before is I don't give up on something. I persevere. I'm at it. If I don't succeed, I'm gonna probably keep going.
But probably?
Because sometimes maybe my mind changes.
Okay.
Maybe I realize that that's not something I actually want to do anymore.
Okay.
I want to do something else, right?
Good. All right.
So if it's something that I want to do, I'm gonna keep at it.
Okay, 3.
3.
3?
Oh my gosh. I'm very connected to my family and my friends. Maybe we don't talk all the time. Maybe we fight sometimes. We're all, it's natural.
Of course
My
it
family
is.
and I, we're not perfect. We
That's
fight
right.
sometimes, but I would do anything for them and anything for my close friends. It's just, there's a bond that I always had with my family, but then I grew up and found it in my friends because I grew up and found good friends.
Big question I want to ask you quick. Now, when you said friends, when I'm talking to a lot of young people, and I want to ask you, being a young person, okay, is that, friends. Is friends, how do you define friends? That's what I want to say.
So
or ask.
Friends, it's very, I guess, different for everybody.
Okay.
For me, I have a few close friends that I'm so close to. Our connection
Right.
is very, very, very tight.
Okay, how many is that? Like
2 or 3.
Okay, good. Okay.
And then I have other friends that I might not see all the time, might not talk to all the time.
Right.
But when either of us needs the other person, we are there.
Right.
You are there for this person. You care about this person.
Right.
And you love this person.
That's right.
So I feel like those are the 2 levels of friendship that I have. And all of them know that. We all have different layers of our friendships. But that's for me. It's I have 2 or 3 close friends. because I want to see them all the time, but also our connection is so strong and has been built up over the past few years that it's almost like we can read each other's minds sometimes. Not always, but it's if not my language, but my body language changes a little bit. The smallest, the slightest, they know what's wrong.
That's right. That's close.
Instantaneously.
That's close.
I text in a different way. For just one text, they know instantaneously. Okay. Sometimes it's vice versa too. It's that's
You're
the closest
connected.
I have.
You're connected.
Yeah.
All right.
So those are my few close friends.
All right.
But like I was telling you before, for example, being on the show, I love it. It's such a great feeling. But
wait.
And
I'm feeling bad here now.
I love talking.
All right, I know you do.
In general,
yes.
I mean, I could sit here and probably talk to you for hours and hours, and
okay,
you don't have the time. But
okay, okay,
it's all good. I love talking. And I love talking about this stuff, and I want to empower people in the future.
Passion. Yes.
Yeah, and I love being here.
But what were you like before you came? Share that with the viewers.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna get
to.
Is last night, I did not sleep until 6 a.m. I know.
Wow.
Because
you look great for a woman that hasn't slept. Wow, you look good, girl.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, I can have fun with you. You're too sweet. Love you because you're just real. You're real.
Yeah, I like being real. Yes. But I texted my friend.
Yes.
And it wasn't I didn't say anything kind of indicating this.
Right.
But we were just having a little conversation.
Yes.
And it just came out that I was so nervous.
Why?
Because I've been on the show, but it was for 12 minutes. This is an hour. This is 60 minutes. That's a whole lot of minutes. That's a whole lot of minutes.
And how do you think you're doing?
I mean, I'm having a great time so far. So good. But before that, I was scared. I was nervous. I was like, what if I mess up? What if I say the wrong thing? I don't offend people, but I was like, what if I offend someone? And my friend was just like, you need to relax. You're a great talker. You know what you're passionate about. You know your story. You don't offend people, so you're not going to offend someone.
Right.
And if you say something wrong, this is TV. This is real TV. You're supposed to make mistakes.
That's
thing,
right.
You know? And
that's right.
They also said this thing that was basically what actually kind of got me to not be as nervous, which was there's a lot of things that I want to do this year, next year, in the future that I'm planning on, that I've already started working on.
Good.
How am I going to get there if I don't take the first step? And this is the first step.
Take risks.
Yeah, take risks.
That's right. Get out the boat.
Do what you're scared of.
That's right.
Do what you're afraid of.
That's right.
Maybe don't jump off, the CN Tower right away.
No.
But build up to it.
That's
Go
right.
on a roller coaster ride first,
right.
And then, do that thing.
And what is wrong about being who you are?
There's nothing wrong about being who you are.
That's right. Because you're beautiful, Hibba. You're not only beautiful on the outside, you've got a wicked smile. Your skin is like porcelain, right? You've got a contagious attitude and smile. Hello. I'm not just saying it because you're sitting there. I'm telling you the truth. You are one beautiful lady. I can have fun with you. Your story is amazing.
Oh my
You're
God.
a beautiful
Thank
girl.
you.
You're a beautiful girl.
I feel so good.
You should.
Oh my God.
Because you're on future prospects. But anyway, quick question, because I know we have to soon go to break. I just want to catch up on it. There was something, part of your story, we touched quite a bit, and I love the way it's rolling. But is there anything else that you'd like to share before we go into the fourth segment?
Yeah. Like I told you right now, is I went through a lot of struggles, and this is again still just a portion of it, and I don't getting into elaborate details, but I'm here right now.
Right.
Because I went through it and I came out stronger.
Awesome.
And the reason why I like speaking and I want to speak in the future as well is because I want to tell people that we all go through a lot of things.
And why did you decide to tell your story?
Because somewhere out there someone is going to relate. Because when I was younger, I didn't have anyone to relate to. I didn't know the things I was going through were going to end eventually, that I was going to get past them. I remember in high school.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one. That's a good one. We got to go to break, but I want you to repeat what you just said there, because that is a good line. We'll be right back, guys. Right back with Hibba. This is good. welcome back to Future Prospects with Hibba and Nasir. Hibba, that was good. That was really great.
Supernatural. Did not even plan it.
No.
But, you know.
Because you're being yourself, right?
That's all I know how to be, so.
That's right, honey. Now, before we went from the third segment, like digress and went into break, you said a line to two lines, but it resonated with me so much. So I want you just to repeat it again, what you said.
I said that I want to do this because someone out there is going to realize that this is not going to last forever, that what you're going through is going to end.
All right.
And you're going to come out stronger.
All right, so say that right in that camera there. Guys, if you can capture that, because that's really powerful. Say it again.
Whatever you're going through is going to end. It is not going to last forever, and you are going to come out from it so strong, stronger than you've ever been.
Awesome. No, because the reason why, thank you, sweetheart. The reason why I wanted you to say it in the camera, not hearing it from me, it's your story, is because I had this conversation with a couple of young people. And they go through so much stuff, Hibba's you, young, you know, and they feel like, oh my God, it's never gonna end. Why? But it's just part of
it's
the journey.
Part of your life. It's part of the journey. I have those moments now too. I'm not perfect. I have those moments where I'm like, it's never going to end. Mm-hmm. But it's just change your perspective and thinking it is going to end.
That's right.
It did end before, and this new thing is also gonna end. And it's going to make me even stronger.
That's right, honey. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, there's one thing you wanted to touch upon before we touch upon your best friend and your next journey and your website and all that good stuff.
All of that.
All right. So, what is it you wanted to touch upon?
So I wanted to touch upon this because, okay, let me just say it.
Go for it.
I have bipolar disorder.
Okay.
And with it comes this journey of psychosis sometimes.
Okay.
It's different for everybody. For me, it included a lot of seeing things that weren't there, hearing things that weren't happening, and I created something that I like to call a friend, who at the beginning I thought was someone of a hallucination that was good for me, which sounds crazy now, but
is it part of the bipolar?
It is part of the bipolar. It comes with the psychosis.
Okay.
And I started seeing this hallucination that was there all the time.
What age were you again?
This was like a few years ago.
A few years ago. Okay.
Like,
how old are you now, may I ask?
24.
Okay,
so
don't look it. You
I was
look
like
good.
20. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I was like, I think 20 maybe, or 21, something or like that. And this hallucination, this thing, would start to bully me. Would say all of the things that people used to say back in the day, but accelerated to the point where I didn't want to be in this world anymore. It made me feel so horrible, so disgusting about myself that I did not want to be here.
Okay.
And it's all stemmed from what everybody else used to say and do when I was younger. So all of that stuff that I thought I was over at the time, that I thought I'd left in the past, I hadn't dealt with it properly. After my grandma passed away, I, again, kept everything to myself. I hadn't spoken up about it. So it haunted me.
Hold on for a second. Everything that you went through, your grandfather passed away, and you...
Well, after my grandfather passed away, I didn't talk to anybody else about it.
Okay.
So I kind of started keeping it to myself again.
Okay.
I was like, we're not telling anybody. We're going to keep it to ourselves.
Okay.
It's fine, I'm going to get through it.
All right.
Didn't deal with it properly, and it came with me throughout the rest of my life, to the point where I dropped out of college at the time. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I didn't want to have a lot of friends. I didn't confide in a lot of people. And this thing became the person or whatever that I listened to for everything. So whatever this thing said, I listened to. And it was just my insecurities in a hallucination form.
Right.
And all those insecurities were saying everything that the people had said back in the day.
Okay.
And the reason why I wanted to touch upon that is only because, not because I want to, like, I don't know, talk about hallucinations or anything. It's just the stuff that people might say to you or might say to other people or do to other people, they might not think about that right away, but it's going to stick with them for the rest of their lives.
Can I ask you something? I don't want to take away from your train of thought, but I want to throw this in there and ask you, how were you diagnosed?
I went to the doctor.
Okay.
I self-diagnosed at the beginning because I didn't see a doctor, but I did a lot of research, and then I was in the psych ward for about a week in 2016, and when I saw a doctor there, when I saw a psychiatrist, she diagnosed me officially.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I kind of knew, I had a feeling, but it was good to know that there's a real term, like I was right, and also that there's help.
Is it something that runs for your family, bipolar?
No.
No.
It's not.
Okay, just yourself.
Just me.
All right, honey.
You know, the odd one out.
That's
Hibba.
okay. The rare one. The
Exactly, the unique one.
That's right,
I'm okay with
sweetheart.
that. Completely
You got
fine
it.
with that.
You got it, honey. You got it.
But yeah, now in the future, I want to spread the message of positivity.
Yes.
Like I was telling you before.
Yes.
Is let's treat ourselves right. Let's treat other people right.
Why is it important to treat other people right? Because a lot of people feel like they're entitled. There's an entitlement. There is, you're not good. I'm better because I got this. I go here. I live here. I drive here. Why is it, and this is very passionate to me, for us to treat people respectfully?
Okay. First, let me start with this.
All right.
If you give me a compliment, does it take anything away from you?
No, it makes me feel great.
And it makes me feel great.
Right.
Right? So it's not going to take anything away from you to be nice to someone.
That's right.
Okay? It is actually going to make you feel better.
That's right.
Okay? When you might be living a completely different life from someone else, but that's the thing is there's so many people out there, there's so many kinds of people out there, which is why when we're nice to each other, it creates a harmony among the society, among a friends group, among your family. Whereas when we're horrible to other people, one, it's going to create some discomfort.
That's right.
Two, you're going to think about it. No matter what kind of person you are, you're going to think about it. And then it's not going to make you feel good. You might not even realize it, but it's going to make you feel guilty. And in turn, you're going to be bad to yourself. So when we're good to other people, when we're good to ourselves, we are good to other people.
Yes.
When we are good to other people,
Yes.
we are good to ourselves.
Say that again. When you're good to yourself.
If you're good to yourself, you're good to other people.
Right.
And
Because
vice versa. Like,
because you can't give away something if you don't have it yourself. Good.
Exactly.
Good.
exactly.
Right? That's right.
And like you have a lot of compassion for yourself. And at one point, it becomes enough to pass around.
You got
like
it,
I
girl.
got some love. Here's some love for you. Here's some love for you.
There you
Be
go.
the Oprah that spreads a lot of love around.
That's right. Be the
you
who?
know? The Oprah.
That's
that
right.
Spread a lot of love
That's
around.
right, sweetheart.
I encountered one person in my childhood that was horrible to me, and a couple of years ago, he messaged me and he was like, "Hey, we don't talk anymore. I'm not trying to like rekindle a friendship or anything. I'm just trying to apologize. I was horrible to you. I have thought about it day and night, but I was horrible. In the end, that was the message. It's like, I was so horrible to you. I'm here saying sorry, and I know this doesn't make up for anything, but I hope you'll at least consider it."
Beautiful. Honey.
And I was like, that's intense. Like, what you did affected me, but what you did also affected you. Because he grew up thinking like, hey,
there you go.
what the heck did I do?
That's right.
Why would I do such a thing?
You sow a bad seed, you reap a bad seed. You sow a good, you reap a good.
Exactly.
We've only got a couple more minutes, and I want to touch upon the picture and your next journey.
Yes.
All right, so let's miss it. Guys, please, can you just show the picture, please? All right, so safe space.
This is safe space.
Okay. Who's safe space? What is safe space?
I am safe space.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I want to create a safe space in Toronto and in the GTA that is a place for anybody and everybody to come to feel included, to feel like they have a place to go when things are kind of rough.
That's right.
It's going to be in the style of a workshop. In the
Nice.
future, I want to get like an office, so it's like a daily thing.
One step at a time.
But yeah, so I
You
want to
got it,
start
girl.
with like a monthly workshop where you come in.
Nice.
There's one part is a very open, anonymous discussion about whatever the topic is or whatever everybody's trying to kind of, get together for. One part is an activity. So we
Ooh.
learn something that is going to help us in the future, that is going to help us get past whatever we are dealing with. And one part is just, hey, let's network, let's chill, let's relax, let's make some friends.
Awesome.
There's gonna be food and stuff like that. I'm working on this right now because I didn't have a place like this. When you feel like you don't want to open up to anybody you know, sometimes it's easier to open up to someone you might not know because
right.
you're never gonna see them
You're not
again.
going to get judged. Right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Like, I'm not going to see this person on a daily basis. I'm probably not going to see them again, but why not tell them that here's my problem and maybe they relate.
Okay.
I want to put out into the world what I wish had been put out when I was dealing with a lot of stuff. And this is one of those things. Is like maybe I want to do an art therapy thing in my safe space workshops where we learn how to use art as a therapeutic method to deal with a lot of stuff. I'm a creative person. That's something I like to do, is just like artistic stuff, whether it's on the computer or it's coloring.
Beautiful.
I just want to spread that around, and I want to make that happen, and that's something I'm working on.
Beautiful. I'm not rushing you.
I know. We gotta get through it.
I know. Okay, that's okay. Your friend, your girlfriend here, real quick, because we only got a minute left.
So this is my college friend. We have been friends for a few years now.
Yes.
And we started an event planning company. Something completely different than all of the speaking stuff, but we work really well together. And we were like, hey, why don't we make it into a thing? Because we both like the aspect of it. We both like the planning aspect. We both are very creative. We both work well together.
Beautiful.
And so now we're going to create something that is our own and bring it out into the world.
Awesome. Now you have a YouTube channel too.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I've got a couple Instagrams.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to show a couple of that stuff so people can keep in contact with you and reach out to you.
For sure.
All right. What do we hear on the YouTube channel? What is we going to hear?
It's going to be a little bit of a mixture, but a lot of it is the stuff that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
I have a video coming out in a couple of days where it's about spreading positivity, like what we talked about, but a little bit different.
Beautiful.
About being kind to one another and ourselves. I have like a Friends fan theory, like the TV show on there.
Nice.
Just a couple of the things that I love to do, that I'm passionate about, that I just want to put out and be like, hey, look, here's what I'm about. Just look at it. Just watch it.
You gotta come back, sweetheart.
I will.
You gotta come back.
I 100% will.
You gotta come back. Give me hands.
Okay, sounds good.
Love you, sweetheart. You're
Love you
amazing.
too.
Love you too. Bye, guys. Bye.